Hello everyone, Toad69500 here, and today we are going back to our roots. As we all know, recently scrap mechanic videos have only been about war and tanks, so much violence. Today we're doing something nice and peaceful, with scrap mechanic trains again. Hooray! I know probably some of you have been waiting for the grand return of scrap mechanic trains, so here you go. Today we are going to do something special though. I decided to go in here with a goal, unlike the other videos where I just kind of drive trains around. We will be also doing that, but with a goal this time. There is this train tile I have found on the workshop, and it looks insane. It doesn't look very realistic, but it looks like a fun little adventure. I already went around it with the train earlier, and then I came up with this amazing idea of the train trials. It'll be like the Rain Hill trials, but which The Rock competed in and stuff. If you know about train history, you know what I'm talking about. But like cranked up to 11. You see that we have to make it around this course, and soon you will see how well that goes. With some of my engines, and I'm just gonna go through my lift until I find something, until I find an engine that we can use. So let's see what our first contender is. And we are starting off strong with what is simply known as the rails train. If you remember, I think my very first scrap mechanic train video, don't watch it, it's very bad. There's this train that shows up in it. It's like train for no rails. That's what it's originally called, and it's supposed to be like a train for the road, like a race car. But I converted it to be a train for the rails. So let's take it. We will be kind of skipping through this, speeding up sections, as some of these engines will be kind of slow. So yeah. And I don't want to make this video too long because I kind of have to go to sleep. What's it with scrap mechanic train videos and always getting recorded late at night? Well, at least the first one and this one. The video I made in between is, I'm not sure what time it was when I was recording that one. Anyways, fun thing about this one, its steering mechanism is still here, it's just unpowered now, so these two wheels here at the front turn independently from each other, which can cause stuff like that to happen, where it kind of starts to drive on the rails with its flankers. This thing is gas and thruster powered, not the greatest combination. It also just uses W and S. Also, not the greatest thing you can do. But, it works. So, let's see how it goes against this first corner. The corners are quite sharp, and there's some ridiculous stuff that happens. I'm just gonna go through and see. I mean, I can kind of take it slow here and show you the whole thing, or I can skip to when something interesting happens, or I've got a better engine. So, I'll do that. And we derailed. Now, I am able to just reset it, just right here. Else, we'd be here all night, so. And I do kind of want to move this process along so we can get to some interesting trains and not just this. It's really just a base. Who knows, maybe I'll be able to make this into an actual engine. I would need to do a lot of modifying though, so yeah. Anyways, I'll see you later. No, don't fall. Don't fall. Okay, this engine is obviously a fail. It keeps derailing in every turn. Even on normal train tiles, so I should have known this would turn out disastrous. But let's head back to the starting point, and we can get ourselves, hopefully, an actual good train. Alright, I found the next engine. Why can't I just get a normal locomotive? This is I've just been scrolling down the list, and this is the second normal standard gauge loco I found. There was also the pain train, but as if you all remember correctly from the last one, it doesn't work anymore. However, this is going to be a really short test. Watch. Go. We're actually surprisingly well made on the tracks. moon. With 2 frames per second or anything to go by, I've actually found the train this time. This is my N580 locomotive class. It's a fictional class I made up. This one in particular. Allow me to just tell you some about the history of this particular engine. The engines themselves are made out of scrapped parts of foreign. Actually, I should shut up right now, drive the engine, and while we're going, I should explain. That's a way better idea. Alright, and away we go. So, now then, let me tell you something about this engine. So, the N580 class was built using scrap parts of locomotives from Duckman. And if you don't know, Duckman, Duckman's pretty important. But yeah, we had a war against them. It was in the desert, and totally kicked their asses. By the way, they could not stand up to the power of the Duck civilization. Was it the Duck civilization? Yeah, it was the Duck civilization. Alright, not the Foxland. Foxland. Okay, now listen here. Duck civilization. So yeah, we basically saved them from their doom as well by merging the two countries together, thus creating Duck civilization. Where was I? Oh, right. So, in that war against Duckney, where we destroyed their asses, they had some trains. Now, the Duckney started having trains after we started having trains because we invented them. Just saying. So yeah, we blew up their trains, and then we gathered the parts of their trains and merged them together to make this monstrosity during the locomotive crisis of 2019. Now, the locomotive crisis of 2019 doesn't actually really have a reason to why it happened. It just kind of happened, and two different companies started fighting against each other to see which one could do the better job. Now, there's the old, well-known, Duckcaster Works, which is based on Doncaster Works from England. So they decided to make small, cheap engines to suffice during the crisis, the T1 and T2. They didn't do so great. They got scrapped after the crisis. Meanwhile, the Chad Swindon Works, which is based on Swindon Works, actually was big brain and was like, we're gonna reuse and recycle the old parts from those broken up Duckman locomotives
and make this class. So yeah, there's that. So they obviously won because this class is still going, still standing strong. And there were free things made. There were free locomotives made because then they ran out of parts to use. Now another, like it's like so genius, you know. You combine a German and a Russian name, and then you get this, like you know, Ivan's, Klauskinov, the third name, which I still have to come up with, but who knows, maybe you can come up with something in the comments. I'll be looking forward to that. You know, it's actually kind of funny when you think about it. Also the track. This is a really scary bit. It's actually one of my favorites, despite how much it scares me. It's weird. But it's, I don't know if it can compare with Fuzzy when he's angry. It's really strange. I mean, I don't get why I can't just have normal allies. Like, Fuzzy has like a scar.
Then Nigel has his like alcohol problem, and Charles, I think he just has brain damage. Never mind. Actually, fun fact: the pain train, that train that you never got to see because the mods decided to die on it, it actually crashed down a ravine very similar to this in like the lore and story. Speaking of the lore and story stuff, we should get back to that instead of even just rambling on about random stuff. That's so. You know, don't you just hate it when people go completely off topic and and just ruin everything. Yeah, it sucks. I hate it when that happens. I'm glad we can agree on that. So, yeah. Right, trains. This one in particular, the N580 class. It says N582. That's because this is actually the third one built. The numbering convention makes no sense. Why it specifically is N580? I don't know. I don't even know what the N stands for. And I built it. I was just like, funny digit, go boom. But yeah. So they all have something special about them, like the first one, as I mentioned earlier, reused parts and stuff. It used a broken running board. The second one had like a different driving rod system, which is one. But yeah. So they all have something special about them, like the first one, as I mentioned earlier, reused parts and stuff. It used a broken running board. The second one had like a different driving rod system, which this one also has, to try to make it run more smoothly. In reality, it's one of these flaws is causing it to be very slow, which is engine working notorious for. Okay, do I have a speed meter in here? Yeah, it's not very great. So yeah, these engines were known for being powerful but very slow, this is actually when Army comes in. Have I talked about the Army? I know I've talked about the wars, but have I talked specifically about the Army? I haven't. Well, you see, the DCAF also, which stands for Industrialization Armor. Right, so now that I've convinced you to join the DCF and give you an entire history on DCF.
Oh right, we were talking about the bunker on this engine, which is kind of funny considering bunkers usually belong on tank engines. Which, if you don't know, tank engines are engines that don't have like a little wagon behind it with coal and water. They have like these boxes on them, which house the water. So yeah, water tanks. So tank engine. And they usually also have a coal bunker. Thomas is a tank engine, for example. Now, right, about this engine. So, the story goes that, because of the scrap war coming up, the, hello, sir. Let's just ignore the spazzing out, rocket knockoff. Now, really for a loop. I think we'll actually be at the incline, which will be fun. Now the story goes. Just don't look at it. I can't help it. No. Now the story goes that with the scrap war coming up, they decided to armor one of their trains so the engine could go to the front lines and check it out, see what was. Well, no, it's not a recon vehicle. What am I saying? Now, a recon vehicle is usually a tiny, fast vehicle used for scouting out the area, spying on the enemy, stuff like that. Wow, actually, a short explanation. That's rare. I've almost spent our entire trip talking about nonsense. I've actually noticed. I think there's some slight wheel slip. That might be because of the bunker, which I'm not even sure if it'll be able to haul up this incline. But we'll find out, and as we do, I will keep explaining. So, wait, why did I turn the thrusters off? We're gonna need all the power we can get. Now, so they wanted an engine that could go and deliver supplies near the front lines without being completely defenseless. And of course, the lines and stuff, they're gonna get bombed, probably, the railway lines. So that's why it has a little anti-air turret, and it also has a machine gun in the back. Later on, the machine gun in the back was removed. With the anti-air turret going, I think it saw something. It's probably just a bird. As long as it's not a duck, I guess it doesn't matter too much if it shoots down. Anyways, we get to this curve, which on the track. I know I'm just flip-flopping between subjects here, but this curve is insane. It's like a roller coaster curve, and it goes completely sideways. This is another really cool part of the track. Oh, thank God, you can't see that. Oh, God. yeah, so we have an anti-air turret on here now, so it can shoot down planes. And the machine gun in the back was just later removed because it wasn't very useful, because all it really did was aim at the cargo, which and it can aim a little bit off to the sides, but that's really it. So it's not great. So later the machine gun was removed in the back, and there was some armor added to the engine. That is the late war version, or the like actually war version of this locomotive, which I also have saved. Uh, we probably won't try. I might show them, but I won't drive around with them like I did with this one, because we've all seen what it look that this engine can clearly make it around this track. This is literally like the last obstacle. Uh, Although the tender might actually fall over because of the bunker weight. Another thing, the actual water tank of the tender is less. Usually it says 250 liters. Now it says 170 liters because the bunker takes up the space of the whole bunker, the water tank. So it can haul less water, but it does have self-defense, which is good. And so this engine is actually privately owned by the military. They can do whatever they want with it. They decided to also pick an N580 class because of their document history, so they're kind of camouflage. When you're out in the air with a plane going around and you see this engine drive, you might think for a second, is that one of ours, or is that the enemy's? Now, a real railway fanatic would know that it's all can be almost every time going to be ductilization, because Duckney is way more had gone way more into narrow gauge. So most of their railway lines are narrow gauge, except for a few standard gauge lines, and stuff. Man, we're at the 20-minute mark already. Who would have guessed that? Um, yeah, this might actually end up to be a pretty long video. Anyways, yeah, just this last part left. That's really all it. The engine is powered by just in game. The engine is powered by a max level, max power electric engine with some thrusters to try and help it along. I tried to make this thing fast, but couldn't do it, and it's mainly because of the complex driving rods. If you remove some of those weird driving rods, this thing runs completely smooth, completely fine, and just at a nice speed. So I might make a variant later which removes some of those rods, or modify them to run smoothly. That being said, let's see if he'll make it to the end. I am gonna record all this, but I'm just gonna speed it up in post, so. Oh boy, we're gonna go down. That looks spooky. Alright, we're gonna stop right here. There you go. Be happy that this is the only engine I've written about with extensive lore. Here it is, like, in all its glory. I might copy and paste this into a pinned comment, or just a comment. if you are so interested that you really want to read this, I mean, you can just pause the video and read it as well if you want, but it might be a bit handier if it's in the comments. The only other locomotive that has lore and things is the E1. This just happens to be a version which doesn't have it in the description. Although, here he is. In this one here, you can see the history for this one. This is the old red locomotive. This is a repaint of it. The red locomotive has been in the second train video. So yeah, that's pretty neat. It's now called the E1 for Express One, because it's made for express duties, and that's both freight and passenger, as it says there, if you've already started reading that. Alright, here we have an engine that doesn't have extremely deep lore, except for the fact that it was made for passenger duties and was manufactured by Fimden Works. This one, as you can clearly see, is work in progress. As you can, there's a seam there at the funnel which I need to fix. There's some bits of the roof I still need to paint, just like glitch welder on there, and as you can tell, the tender is looking a little incomplete. I think one side does have the wedges. No, on these pieces there are supposed to be wedges. But this is the P1 class. Passenger locomotive, Mark 1, basically. And the fun thing is, it's piston powered, actually. Now, I know there's better piston powered engines that you can make in scrap mechanics. This is just the only one I know how to make. Off to an amazing start. That's why I also do have a bit of thruster power in there as well to help it along, and also because the piston on its own is actually pretty damn slow. So you can speed it along like so. But this thing is very tough. It's to slow down in the corners, and also it's also hits over engineered bogies. You can see there's a bunch of suspension down here. It isn't over engineered because it had trouble taking turns. So let's see if we can get through this tight turn here. Pretty big 440. This one was actually made for a more serious train tile, but the platforms here are really close to the track, so you can't really make steam engines because as soon as you have like a piston sticking out or something like that, your driving rods are too thick, you're gonna get stuck on the platform. This is what I meant with top heavy, by the way. So we're gonna have to watch out for that. I have to put some concrete level 3 on the bottom to try and stop it, but it's clearly not enough, and so I might replace it with some modded weighted blocks which are a lot more heavy. But yeah, oh god, no. It's back. How did you survive? I thought you were dead. Just don't mind him. He's just existing, I guess. Just pay no mind to the rocket knockoff. Don't look at it. This is actually going to look very nice, because, I'm going under the bridge, he's going over the bridge. That's to zoom out to get a better shot. Look at him go with his not fully rendered in Alright. I mean, this engine can make it completely run the track, probably, if I just don't mess with the thruster. That's the thing, I want to mess with the thruster, because I think this thing goes too slow on its own power, so... Goodbye, my boy. I doubt this is the last we'll see of you. Now then, let's see if I can make it around, fast style. So, I'm probably also going to speed this up to make it even more fast. No, no, no. Don't fall. I saw it tilting. Alright, we're back at the scary bit. It takes a lot. It doesn't take as long when you have a locomotive that can actually reach a decent speed. I'm gonna need to put a speedometer so I can actually see how fast this thing goes. But I definitely don't want to go too fast here because we'll end up like the pain train, which would, funnily enough, and mean that we'd end up in a lot of pain. I really fail to appreciate how fast, or I guess to recognize how abysmally slow the N580 is, because we're just zooming. No, no, no. Behave. Behave, train. I don't want you to fall over. At this pace, we'll catch up to the one we saw earlier in no time. And we'll speed past the platform and to the roller coaster turn, which I'm actually pretty afraid of. So let's see how that goes. Oh my god, I can still see him. Nice. Was my tender jumping? I don't know. I should be paying more attraction. I should be paying more attention to where I'm going. I do it again. A skilled engineer can tilt the engine without making it flip over. No. Am I skilled? I am skilled! I make it tilt like a little bit on each turn, but it might tilt quite a lot more at the next one. No, no, no. Yes, okay. I'm getting more lenient. I'm just like, okay, I know this thing can take it. Anyways, time to climb, so we're gonna need to go full speed. This thing can probably climb on its own power, just piston power, but it'll take way longer, so we might as well just go with thrusters. Alright, we've made it to the crest. Now, as we saw, this thing is extremely top heavy, so we just want to make it through this turn as fast as possible and not linger on it, because I feel like if we stay up here for too long, we're gonna fall over. But hey, we didn't fall over, so let's just hope we don't fall off this bridge, and we will be fine. Calm, collected, and cool. Perfect. You know, I thought the roller coaster turn would be our last challenge, but apparently not. And yes, we are, the time that it took that engine to get over this bridge, in that time that, you know, we went around the entire track, they just made it over the bridge. They're almost back at the finish. Just realized the sign is hooked up to the extra, like, the thruster is hooked up to the lights. Oh, no. Sir! Sir! Ah! Come on, Grandpa, move it. I would whistle at him if I had one. I think we actually drive at the same speed. Alright, you're taking too long. It's time for you to die. Wait for it. Wait. Right. Yeah. Sounds simple. You don't like simple. I said do the funny. Eh. Alright. Sir, you have forced my hand. I didn't want to do this. Aha. Okay. Watch him fly. Oh my god. He's still on the rails, somehow. And... Cool. Right. Next train. Look, I found the test bed for the engine we were just driving. This is what I used to test it. We're not gonna go around the track with only this. We're gonna actually try and go with deep full-on engines and not these little experiments. If it's an experimental engine, fine, but if it's just a base on wheels, yeah. Plus, you saw that tournament. It went great, so I bet this guy could make it all the way around. Alright, let's actually get an engine now. Well, throughout this video, we've been encountering an old locomotive numbered 1, so it's about time that we get on an old locomotive ourselves. This is number 2. They're mini locomotives. If you've watched my mini train video, you will recognize them from there. And this is big versions of them. Number 2 runs really well. It's pretty fast and stuff. Just electric engine. These are just scaled up versions. Like the engine power is the same. They're practically built the same. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, this looks like it's gonna go just fine. But we'll see if anything interesting happens. Right. Another thing about this engine is, this is the first engine that I made a whistle on like this. It's like a real train whistle, like usually at the end, the tone goes higher, as usually what engineers do is they start off the whistle like slowly, and then at the end they fully pull the whistle open, causing like a blast at the end. And I tried to replicate that here in Scrap Mechanic. It was an absolute pain in the butt trying to figure out how to do this, but I managed to do it, and I think it's pretty neat. So, yeah. And then I proceeded to make all those, like that whistle kind on every single one of my engines from now on. That's pretty cool. We're already at the desert part. This engine is also really quick. Oh no, Tender, why? Tender, why? Why must you hurt me? We were so close. Yeah, the engine itself is fine, it's just the tender which sometimes can cause problems. Alright. Almost a scary bit. Hold on, Tender, I don't want to fall down there. Alright. It's a scary bit. We are going super fast, which makes this only extra scary. Oh. Hey, we made it. Alright, it's climb time. Here we go. It just doesn't care. Besides that one little problem with the tender, we've been driving absolutely fine here. Oh, it seems to be struggling here. But we are good. Oh no. Oh no. Why? Okay, this time it was a locomotive, which, I think it might have gotten caught on a rock or something. Stop, I don't want to fall. That was a close call, though. No! Come on, put yourself back on the tracks. Tender, please. You know, good enough. Good enough. Good enough. Good, good enough. No, no. Oh, thank God for those rail pipes. We are just hanging on. Now we get to do the fun job of trying to put it back on the rails and not fall down ourselves as we do so. Not only is this a fun job because, you know, I'm gonna have to try and put it back on the rails on a curve. It's not work out, but it seemed to work out just fine now. And I also had to make sure that it didn't fall off, but we're good! Final bit. And the final stretch now. Alright, yeah, we did it. Actually, I should have just stopped normally, because when this thing stops, it's quite funny because it stops all of a sudden. Well, there's no other thing I need to do. So let's put you back here. And then let me show you what I was talking about. Because we haven't actually normally stopped. I get up to speed after the first wheel slip. And stop. Hold on, let me just... There you go. Sometimes I forget that I steal other people's stuff. Well, actually, this wasn't stealing. I saved it for him because I had to clean the world. He was experimenting with... my friend was trying to make his engine actually run on pistons like so. He eventually figured out a system, but this isn't the fully figured out version. In fact, I don't even think he has a piston-powered version of this locomotive. This boy just went back to electric-powered, but he eventually made something, which I also saved. But I was looking for this thing. There you go. Don't talk to me or my son ever again. But yeah, every like 1 block here is around 2 blocks here. There's a few exceptions to that though. Yeah. The boys. If you see my Scrap Mechanic Mini Trains video, you will recognize this one. You would have also recognized the yellow one as it's also a recreation of a bigger, or it's also, the yellow engine in this video is also a bigger version of a mini engine. Okay, so I may or may not have skipped over some engines to get to this one, as those other engines are pretty slow, and I want to kind of edit in this video, so I wanted to grab an engine which is kind of fast, which is this one, which I completed today. This is the, oh god, the F1. The F1, also known as the Class 20. It has a little bit of lore around it, but it's not a whole lot. As you can see, these are also my more modern couplings. They are based on model train couplings, and they work pretty well. I would hook up a carriage right now. Sorry there, folks. This is the next morning. My recording got corrupted from yesterday, so now I'm recording this part again. But as I was saying before, I was rudely cut off by Bandicam. Um, we can hook coaches up to this thing, but we're not gonna do that. We might do that in a future video though with the other engines as well, where we try to go around this course with a wagon, because I think that would be quite interesting, especially if it's like a big heavy wagon. So we can also see like the strength of the engines, but we can also see how well they fare under load around this track. Plus, we can see how well the coaches or wagons make it around. And our safety valve has gone off. Beautiful. Let me just. Does that work? No, we're not in the right position for that. But this thing also has a steam dump and stuff. If you wait for too long, the safety valve will go off. It'll fix itself. Don't worry about it. As you can see, I just like loaded back into the game. As you can see, the textures haven't loaded yet on the actual signs. So that looks a little strange. Same with the front of the driving rods. They also haven't loaded in yet. But hey, yeah, I already went around this track. There you go. Now we're dumping steam. But we're not going to need to dump steam anymore, considering we're going now. But yeah, I really don't know what I was talking about. I mean, I watched a little bit back to see where I got cut off, but that's really it. But hey, this is going to be our last engine for today. As I don't want to make this video too long, originally also because I didn't want to stay up too late, so yeah. Now luckily this engine's pretty fast, not right now because we're not on full speed. There you go. Now I've opened her fully up. And that speedometer is going up. Also, as you can see, there's a lot of things in here. Also, the texture started. But right now, I think we're going max speed. We're going. I didn't even notice engine go that fast. It's going a bit faster than I even expected. It also pulls wheelies sometimes. I think it might have to do with that front bogey, as like it can shoot underneath the pistons. So I might need to change something there. As there's a lot of wheelies now. There's also other small things I have to do, like put in the water filler caps, stuff like that. So this engine is still work in progress. Also, this is not how your driving rods are supposed to go. That's what you get for doing wheelies. Hold on, let me see if I can fix it right here on next to the track side. Already the safety valve has gone off. That's fun. Anyways, let's get going again, and also, again, same type of whistle. It is a little weird on this one, but hey, let's go. Full speed. I will speed up some of this stuff. Oh, it doesn't really look like it wants to do wheelies anymore, which is good. Another thing about this engine is, well, one, it's only thruster powered. You can tell already, so there's that, and also, that back, despite their wheels being back there, it provides basically no support for the engine. So the back kind of bounces up and down. But hey, he's going. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this engine. Mainly also like I tried to go for like that early 1900s, late 1800s feel. Also because this thing has no cab roof, so have fun in the rain, I guess. This is also a Foxlands railway engine, which, as you if you remember from earlier, the Foxlands was a country that existed before the Duck civilization, and then merged with the Duck states to become the Duck civilization. Which is not like the terms a lot, you can tell. That's when it starts wheeling. Anyways, we're almost at the scary bit. Our safety valve is going off again. Okay. I find it funny how much like desert there is, and like you explore only this bit with the like half of the tile is desert, so and you only explore this bit with the train. This area down here is just only to scare you. That's the only purpose it serves. Hey, we're back on track. I mean, I know this thing can make it completely around because, you know, I've already done it before. The recording just got corrupted, so I know this thing can, the safety valve just stopped. This thing can do it. In fact, it can ride around here unsupervised. But, you know, it'd be kind of sad if, you know, I didn't show it, and just cut off the video there. I was thinking about doing it, but I decided not to. But, who knows? Maybe some crazy weird derailment will happen. Right. Time for the bit where you have to climb. This would definitely be the most interesting part with coaches. I want to see how the speed drops. Oh, it drops a little bit, yeah. It almost just drops like a quarter speed. Well, it is speeding up again, so just kind of knocks it down for a second. Guess what, folks? It got corrupted again. Yay! Well, let's head back to where we were. Alright, folks, we are back. I really need a better recording program. But yeah, we were watching as the speed dropped here. It drops quite a bit. But we'll also watch again when the speed goes back up. When we go downhill, because as you will see when we're over this turn, we get a lot of speed on downhills because this thing is only thruster powered. So there's no engines really restricting it. Now we're on to the scary zigzag bit. If there's any place we can horribly derail, it'd be here. Let's see airspeed. I might have said some of this stuff before because, you know, this is the third time I'm recording this part of it. Anyways, here we go. Speed. Oh wow, we actually hit like the top. Yes, we made it past the top even. This is actually the fastest we've gone on this downhill slope from the other times that I went down. We went down here. Turn my lights on. Then we went down those slopes. Last time we went down those slopes, we didn't reach that kind of speed. We didn't make it past the middle, the top middle. We didn't get close to it though. Here we won't go as fast because this slope isn't steep. But yeah, now it's time for me to say the intro for the third time. I really put a lot of work into these train videos. Whatever. Let's just. So, thanks for watching this kind of classic scrap mechanic train video, kind of going back to our roots, but with a bit of a twist. As you know, the first pretty popular video on this channel was a scrap mechanic train video. So yeah, and it was kind of what I was known for a little bit. So it was fun going back to this stuff. But yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more scrap mechanic trains. As I said, I had some ideas for future scrap mechanic train videos, so if you want to see those, make sure to let me know. Now I will watch this thing drives away into the sunset, and I will probably walk straight into that pillar. And if I avoid it. There he goes. He goes he kind of goes like the speed that you run, which, isn't a whole lot faster than a human, but, most of my trains I can catch up to while running. This thing I can't. Unless I take shortcuts. If I just run straight behind it, I will not be able to pass it. Well, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Round the bend he goes. Whee!